guys, hope you're all having a great day. This is Mary and you're watching Cardz TV. Today we're going to make a quick little card using the Birthday Bash cartridge, and our papers are going to come from this Echo Park 6x6 pad, and this one's called This and That, and it's the Graceful pack, and there's some awesome papers in here. My very good friend Renee sent me this. I love this polka dot, and we're going to be using the polka dot today for our image. They're just so pretty and colorful. I love every one of them. Love that one. Here's some more polka dot in kind of an aqua, and they're double-sided. I love these bingo cards. They are so cute. Can't wait to do something with that. More polka dots, some pretty florals. We're also going to be using this one today, and some of this pretty rose color. It's just a great little paper pack. Really cute. Love this one. They're so bright and cheerful. Okay, we're going to use that. We're going to be using a Cardz TV stamp set, and this is from my last release, and this is called Facts, or Frequently Asked Questions. And it's all questions, and you can use these for cards or scrapbook pages. I love this set. And the one we're going to be using today is What's the Scoop? Perfect to send to somebody on a card just to find out how they're doing. So we're going to use that. And I haven't been over to Mojo Monday in a while, so I went over today, and they've got the option of a round or a square card. I love this card sketch, and we're going to do a square card following this sketch because I found these over at my Walmart. These are by Studio G, and there are 8 square cards in here, and it was $1. Now, if your Walmart doesn't have them, you can also find these at Michael's. And it's got the card and the envelope. So it's everything you need. And yes, it does cost a little more to send a square card, but it usually costs a little more anyway to send a handmade card because of embellishments and things. And it's not a lot more. Now, here's my card base. It's one of the 5x5 round cards. And you can open this portrait style or landscape. I think we're going to leave it landscape for this one. We're going to use some of that pretty rose paper for a background. Now our card's 5x5, so this is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And let's see, we've got a 1/2 inch side and a 1/4 inch. Let's try the 1/4 inch and see how that does for rounding. Now let's do the 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get all of these rounded in the corner chomper. And I'm going to take some Tim Holtz Tea-Dye Distress ink when I get all of the corners rounded and go around the corners. Our next paper from that pack is this pretty little flowered. We're going to round these corners as well using the 1/2 inch side of the corner chomper. We want to get them down in there really well so it does a good job. Put these two back in there again. There we go. Now this is 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. Now, if we look at the sketch, there's a border going right down here. There's a circle on top of that. There's a little banner piece, and there's a square, probably for a sentiment. We're following this sketch, and I'm going to fold this back so we're just looking at the square. And I'll give you a link to Mojo Monday. So if you want to go over and check it out, and they've got lots of card sketches over there, and it's perfect when you need some inspiration and a starting point. But we're not going to follow this exactly. We're going to do this border, we're going to do the banner, but instead of putting a circle on there and a square, we're going to put our image right here, And our sentiment's going here, but it's not going to be a square, and it's going to be moved down just a little bit. And that's the fun of card sketches. You can change them up however you want to. So we've got our base here, and here's the little border that's going on, and you can see I put 2 border pieces because I wanted to back this green with some more of that rose color. Now the rose color border is 2 by 4.5, and the green is 1 3/4 by 4.5. And I think what I'm going to do is run this green through the Cuttlebug using the Swiss Dots folder. I think that'll be really cute on there, just to give it some more texture. And we're going to add that right here. And here's our little banner piece. And I cut this at 1 3/4 by 3 inches, and I just took my scissors and just eyeballed it and cut that little banner out. And what I'll do after I run the green through the Cuttlebug and get that adhered, I'll just put this little banner piece on the back and adhere it all down as one piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on this, get all of this ready, and then I'll show you the image that we're going to be putting on here and our sentiment. Now I've got the card base all ready, as you can see. Got the Cuttlebug out, and we're going to run our little green border through the Cuttlebug Swiss Dots folder. I've got my A plate on here, and I'm going to make a sandwich with my folder between the 2 B plates. And we'll run this through real quick and then get that adhered together. Now I've got my background all adhered down. I love the Swiss Dots folder on there. And I left just the very ends of the little banner piece free because I like to curl them up just a little bit. And I have inked around everything with some Tim Holtz Tea Dye Distress ink. Now for our cute little image. Look at this cute little polka dot hippo, and she's got an ice cream cone. I think she's so cute. She's going to go right here instead of a circle like we have in the sketch. We're using the hippo, and she's our focal point. We're going to turn her at an angle, and she's also on an action wobble, guys, which makes her even cuter. Now let me show you where she is in the Birthday Bash manual. She's on page 32. There she is right there, that cute little pink hippo. And I cut the hippo and all her little pieces out at 3.5 inches. When you hit shift and hippo, you can see the little black toes, and there's her little belly button, her eyes, and her nostrils. I did not cut those because they are too tiny. You just can't work with them. But like I said, I cut everything else at 3.5. And what I did, I took a Zig black pen. This is just a regular craft pen. And the Cricut will cut the little slits where all those extra little pieces are supposed to go. And I just took this black pen and went right in those little slits and drew on what was supposed to go there. And I like it so much better. I just can't deal with those tiny little things, even with tweezers. They're just too hard to get on. So she's going to go right there. And you can see how this is working out with our sketch. And for our sentiment, I used What's the Scoop? And I've already stamped that on some white cardstock. And I went around that with the Tim Holtz Tea Dye Distress ink. Now I'm going to get all of this stuck down, and we're going to come back and we're going to play with this hippo on the action wobble. It's going to be so much fun. Here's our finished little card. I think it turned out pretty close to the sketch, don't you? I really love this little hippo. I forgot to tell you where her little belly button is supposed to be. I didn't draw that on. I took a tiny little rose-colored heart brad and put that there instead. And I think it's much cuter. Okay, you ready, guys? There she goes. Action wobbles are so much fun. And I'm going to give you a link if you want to pick up some action wobbles for your cards. And I'm also going to give you a link for Mojo Monday, and you can do this in round or square, either one. They have great sketches, and there's lots of examples, and you can join in on their challenge as well. Thanks so much for coming by today, guys. I hope to see you again soon. Bye now.